The NHS Gallery trial, a trial of a blood test that can detect a signal from many different types of cancer in people who have no cancer symptoms, has passed an important milestone, having completed all 3 rounds of trial appointments. But the work of researchers is ongoing, with the final results expected in 2026.
We know that if we can diagnose cancer sooner, that people are much more likely to survive the illness. And the NHS has set an ambition of trying to diagnose 3/4 of cancers at an early stage within the next few years. This trial could be a really important part of how we get to that ambition.
The Gallery test, it's a blood test, so we take a blood sample from an individual, and what we look for is fragments of DNA that has come from cancer cells that might be shed into the blood. And then we examine that DNA to see if we can find markers that are indicative of the presence of cancer, but also to try and determine or predict what type of cancer it might be.
This trial is looking at how well this particular blood test is able to help pick up cancer at an earlier stage, alongside our existing screening programs for bowel, breast, cervical and lung cancer in the NHS.
This test is able to find a signal of a possible cancer in more than 50 different types of cancer, including many of those that we don't currently screen for. Cancers that we know are really, really important to find early.
In this study, people don't know whether they've had the test or not. They've all given blood samples, and then they've been split at random. Half of them are being tested and half the people are not getting the test. So we really need to show that by doing the testing and intervening, we've made a difference. And so you have to have that comparison.
When we finish taking blood samples, we need to follow up the medical records of all our participants for a further 12 months. And then when that 12 months is done, we'll be able to analyse the data and report the main trial outcomes in 2026.
We need to see if there are going to be fewer advanced stage cancers in the group that had testing. The Gallery test could make a huge difference, so really important to do the trial and to do it well.
We owe enormous thanks to everybody who has agreed to take part, and we're really looking forward to see the results of this screening trial. And we've got to wait until 2026 to see the final outcomes, and at that point the National Screening Committee will decide whether this is something that we should be taking forward as a larger national programme.